'twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas would soon be there. But in a small corner, unbeknownst to the rest, a team of elves worked, putting tech to the test. These weren't just any elves from old tales you've heard. They were tech-savvy geniuses, each skilled in their word. In a room filled with screens, mics and lights gleaming bright, they prepared for a podcast on this silent night. Snowflakes fell all softly and white, covering hills and cottages in a serene sight. While inside VI Labs, the elves hustled about, setting up for a show. They had no time for doubt. With headsets adjusted and mics checked twice, they were ready to broadcast their holiday advice. So snuggle up now, listeners, and get all tucked in. Roll the intro there, David, for it's time to begin.
Welcome to Talking Technology with VI Labs. At VI Labs, we believe technology is the single greatest enabler for people with sight loss and all disabilities. If you're looking for the latest news and conversation on tech from a more accessible perspective, you've come to the right place.
JP, don't you dare throw that snowball at me.
What was that, David? I couldn't quite hear you.
Oh, for goodness sake, JP, look what you're after doing it to my wonderful Christmas jumper. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's covered in snow. Oh, wow. Anyway, hello, welcome in to Talking Technology, our Christmas 2023 special, episode number 46. I was hoping I'd be wearing my wonderful Christmas jumper, but I think JP just destroyed it. Anyway, hello and welcome in to episode 46, the Talking Technology 2023 Christmas special. Yes, we're in December. Can you believe we are already, we are already just 13 sleeps away before Santa comes down the chimney. Can you believe that? It's only around the corner, folks. We'll have snow outside before we know it. But yeah, hello, welcome in. We have a packed show coming up for you over the next little while. We'll have Dave Nason here from Sky to tell us all about the Sky Glass, a brilliant little television there that you might, who knows, you might be watching your Christmas movies on it this season. We'll be talking to David about that later on. And we will also be talking about the massive news last week that Seeing AI and Be My AI have both launched on Android. We'll be talking all about that later on in the show too. And I must say, there's been a rumour going around, right? And I don't know if it's true, but there's been a rumour going around that Santa Claus might make an appearance later in the show. He did last year, and maybe I'm being a bit too hopeful that, 2 years in a row, that will be a bit much, especially considering, as you know, Santa is a very busy man, especially this time of year. So we'll have to wait and see if he gets a chance, but that's down to the elves. We'll have to wait and see if Santa can make some time in his schedule later on in the show. We'll have to wait and see. But now, let's get down to business. If you do want to get in touch with us during the show, as always, if you're joining us live on Microsoft Teams, you can use the Q&A panel. Or if you want to get in touch with us by email, you can send us an email to content@vi.ie. That's content@vi.ie. Remember, if you do need any technical support or anything like that at any time, you can still use the old address, labs@vi.ie. But we've got a brand new content email for Talking Technology, for the technology newsletters, all that sort of cool stuff. So content@vi.ie if you want to get in touch. Now, let's get down to business. David Nason joins us from Sky, and Sky, they've been very busy over the last little while. They've been introducing a number of new products in the Irish market, from Sky Glass and Sky Stream and other cool stuff like that. But there have been recent accessibility advancements, so we invited David on to talk all about it. David Nason, welcome back to Talking Technology. How are you?
I'm great, David. Thanks for having me again.
I think last time you were on, we were talking about the Apple Vision Pro. So it's been a bit, but how are things over at Sky?
Good, I'm a man with many hats when it comes to this podcast. Things are great. it's an exciting time.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Well, I guess let's start at the beginning. It's been a busy year for Sky. You've introduced a number of new products like the Sky Glass and Sky Stream. We'll start off, I guess, with Sky Glass. Do you want to tell us, for people who don't know, I guess, what, first of all, is the Sky Glass?
Yeah, of course. So I suppose people would be pretty familiar maybe with the traditional Sky TV that comes in over the satellite dish through a set-top box. And that would have been, Sky Plus, or more recently Sky Q since 2016. Whereas last year we launched Sky Glass, and what it is no satellite dish needed. It comes in over the internet, and Sky Glass is an actual television set itself that you buy from Sky. So rather than plugging a box into your own TV, Sky Glass is a TV itself that you get, and has Sky built into it. Again, no dish, no fuss, just plug and play. It works over the internet, basically. So yeah,
brilliant.
That's what a Sky Glass is.
And it can do a lot more as well, because you have things like your Netflix and stuff like that on it. Like, it's a fully fledged TV, but you just cut out the middleman. You don't need the box, essentially. And you've recently...
We call it smarter than a smart TV.
Smarter than a smart TV. I like that. Smarter than a smart TV. You've recently introduced a number of accessibility features, but there were some really cool features as well. Like, you've got things like Hello Sky on the Sky Glass, but also you're introducing voice guidance, I think, to the new TV. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it's been there for some months now, actually. Voice guidance has been there. So again, people who are familiar with Sky Q may know that we have voice guidance on there. Voice guidance is our brand name, I guess, for the screen reader. So like, you've got VoiceOver on iOS, you've got TalkBack on Android phones, and so on. Our version on Sky TV is called Voice Guidance, and it launched on Sky Q back nearly 3 years ago now, back in 2021, early 2021. And it's now this year, at the beginning of this year, we brought it to Sky Glass as well. And what it does is as a screen reader should, it reads out all the menu items as you navigate through the various menus on the TV. So you can go through your TV guide or through your playlist and all that kind of thing. And it'll speak out those menu items.
Brilliant. That's handy. And does it work, say, let's say you're using like your Netflix and stuff like that. Can you use the voice guidance within those apps, or how does that work at this stage?
At this stage, it's a yes and a no. So we are targeting some big improvements to come in the coming months, and kind of spring next year is kind of when we're targeting some further improvements, including actually working inside the apps. You're not completely locked from the apps at the moment, because if you do a search, so you can do voice search for any show, and it kind of pulls the list of shows out of the apps and gives them to you within the Sky user interface, if that makes sense. So you get kind of a Sky page showing you all of the things, but once it opens up that app, voice guidance will currently stop speaking. So that's something to be aware of, but once, next year, that's, we're working on that. So
brilliant.
It will work inside apps.
Brilliant. And look, these things take time as well, and that's good to see that you know that it's on the roadmap and it will get done for sure.
And I suppose it's a case as well of, we're working with the partners as well. There will be, just like on your iPhone, you need the developer of the app themselves to make sure that they're accessible. So it's up to all of us to be speaking, for why that's so important, that they do that. But I think all the big apps should be working with voice guidance, no problem next year.
Brilliant, fantastic. And then, what is the difference then between, say, Sky Glass and Sky Stream? Because you've also got this Sky Stream product.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I suppose where Sky Glass is a TV, Sky Stream is a set-top box. So with Sky Stream, you plug it into, you just say you may not want a new TV. You may want this new Sky experience, but you might not want our TV, or you might not need a new TV, but you still want the Sky experience. So you can buy a Sky Stream little puck, and that plugs in to the HDMI cable on your TV, and so it works from that point onwards. It's just like you're using Sky Glass. Essentially, there's one or two little differences which we can talk about, but for the most part, you're getting that full Sky Glass experience on any TV with that. And it's the same little puck that we use if you have Sky Glass, if you have multi-room or what we call whole home, you've got multiple televisions, we give you those pucks as well for your other rooms and that kind of thing. So
okay,
yeah, it's a nice, neat little puck.
And so you mentioned there that there are some differences. Do you want to tell me a little bit about what those are, I guess?
Yeah, I suppose the key one, and especially in the accessibility space, but generally anyway, is around the voice control. So they both have voice control. So just like on Sky Q, there's a button on the remote control which you can press and hold and give your voice commands, and it's really powerful and it's growing and getting better all the time as the team are giving it more capability.
Yeah.
But with Sky Glass, you have the addition of, and my TV is going to wake up when I do this now, but I can say hello Sky, and I never need to even touch the remote control. It just, it's a bit like your A-Lady speakers and so forth.
I think we can hear your TV in the background.
Yeah. Hello, Sky. Switch off.
That ought to do it. There you go.
So with Sky Stream, you don't have that feature. You do have to use the button on the remote control.
Okay. Interesting. And then, so can that work at any time? Say, like the television is in standby. It doesn't have to be turned on?
Yeah, because it was on standby there when I woke it up. So.
Oh, wow. Awesome. And can you say things like, for example, like I know, like if I think about our use case for the television at home, we're not necessarily a very advanced users of the full features of Sky, I guess. We just press 101 for RT1, 103 for Virgin, and it's simple enough like that. But can you say... with something like Hello Sky, can you say something just like play RT1, play Virgin Media 1, or even could you say, for example, as an example, Fair City's on RT1, can you say play Fair City on RT1? Does that work?
Yes, so I suppose it'll depend on what's on and so on, but you can say, you can certainly say go to and name any channel, and it will go to that channel. Or just say the channel name. You don't even need to say go to, I don't believe. You can say play a specific show, but depending on is it in your playlist or where it is in the library, it may bring up search results often. And then you'll have to kind of go from there and say play again once you're on the show page screen. But there are certain events, like for example during the World Cup, they had it set up so you could just say Argentina versus Saudi Arabia, and if that match was on, it would just go to it, and it wouldn't bring you up search results.
There you go.
Where it does go straight to it if you say the show, but on other occasions it's the channel that you want to say.
Okay, interesting. Very good. There's been a lot of different things that you've added around the Sky universe in recent times. I know you've recently updated as well the Sky Go app to have dark mode functionality, and you've also started working with Be My Eyes, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a bit. But in terms of Sky Go, one of the things that, to the best of my knowledge, it still doesn't have the ability to use things like audio description. Is that something that you're looking at or working on?
Yeah, so a couple of things on Sky Go. Yeah, there's the dark mode, and the other improvement we brought in this year. It's currently on iOS. I know the team are kind of scoping Android, but currently on iOS. We also have a soft remote control within the app now, and that's for Sky Q customers. So if you're a Sky Q customer, you'll find, and you have the Sky Go app, you'll find a remote control button on the home screen now. And so if you don't have your remote handy, you can use the remote control from within the app to control your TV. So they're the two big kind of improvements, I suppose, in Sky Go this year. Audio description is tied in with, our people who are listening who are Sky customers, I'm sure will be aware that currently we don't have audio description for on-demand content, your catch-up content and your box sets and things like that, even on the Sky TV itself. Its audio description is currently on linear TV, live TV broadcasting only. But that's all coming, so that's all part of that. What we're targeting for kind of spring or so next year is to have audio description on demand. Sky Go will come a little later, so what will come first is TV. So your Sky Glass, Sky Stream, Sky Q, Sky Plus, whichever you're on, they'll get audio description on demand first, and then it will Sky Go will come a little bit later.
Oh, brilliant. And also, I think something tells me, I think we spoke about this on Talking Technology before, but Sky recently launched a few months ago, I should say, on the Be My Eyes app, so that you have a team that can provide accessibility specific support through the Be My Eyes app. Has there been much of a take up on that? How have you found that process has gone in the last little while, now that you're a few months in?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, we launched it in early summer, and for people who don't know and would be interested, we have an accessibility team within our customer service area. So you can choose, if you wish, to register as an accessibility customer, and those agents, you get them through to the accessibility team, and they would maybe have a little bit more training and knowledge around things like using a screen reader or that kind of thing, or the accessibility features on the box and so on. And so they're the same agents that will receive your Be My Eyes calls if you call us through that. So you go to the Be My Eyes app and the specialized help area, where you've got companies like Microsoft and Google as well. You've got Sky now, and you can call us through that, and you'll get through to one of our agents, and they can help you over a call where they can see through the camera. So yeah, we're really happy. I mean, I suppose we really want to make sure people know about it. It's one of those things, and same with all of our accessibility features. We sent out an email, for example, to, a huge number of our customers there to mark International Day of People with Disabilities. And we wanted to make sure we didn't just send it to the people who've already told us and registered with us, but actually sent it to the wider public as well, because, there's so many people out there who don't know that these features are there, and we want to make sure that they're able to take advantage of them. So Be My Eyes is one of those that we definitely would like to get. We are getting calls, and we'd love to get more calls.
Oh, brilliant. And look, it's one of these things, as you say, once people know that it's there, that's the main thing to get the word out there. And it's the same, I guess, with things like the Sky Glass and Sky Stream, that information is there, that yes, you can get voice guidance on these devices, and it is slowly improving, to know that these things are a work in progress, but there is accessibility features, and I think that's important, isn't it?
And there's some, and particularly Glass and Stream will continue to see improvements. Like I say, the improvements we've already talked about coming. Yep. We've also got very soon the ability to change the speed that the screen reader will speak at, which is obviously important to people who use screen readers all the time.
We can knock it up to 100, go a million miles an hour.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to have, I believe it's 5 speed levels that we'll have. So some people will want it to go down. People who are not used to screen readers, who don't use them in their day-to-day lives, but maybe could use it on their TV, might want a slower speed because they're not regulars. And then you have people who use JAWS every day who think that the current speed is too slow, so they'll want to speed it up. So that was important to us to get that feature. So that will be coming early in the new year as well. Yeah,
you can have like titles on them, like slow, somewhat slow, normal, fast, very fast, and then insane.
I don't think we're having insane, but I think
really. I don't know. It's but I'd love to be able to use my voice over at 100. I can't do it. I'm barely in the 60s. But yeah, interesting stuff. And look, brilliant stuff. And credit to you and the team as well for like an immense amount of work on this, I'm sure, in recent times. It's brilliant to see entertainment becoming accessible in more and more ways. But I guess outside of that, is there anything you want to share on the accessibility front at Sky? Is there anything cool that you're working on that maybe we don't know about?
No, I think it's those. I think it's about knowing about those features. I think the voice guidance, the improvements to audio description, and voice control, they're all really key ones that can really help you, use the TV services better. And then the Be My Eyes is great for when you do need that support and you need that visual, again, improvements that are coming. You might need help setting up your TV, or you might things like that you can use Be My Eyes for as well. That again, over time, we'll be improving it so you can do that independently. But right now you can't. So we're aware of some of those gaps. But really, I'd love to hear more. We want to, if you are a Sky customer, do call us up. The number, if people want to speak to the accessibility team, is 0818719809. I can give that to you again if you needed. And do let us know if you have any feedback around your usage of our products or the service itself. There's things like the My Sky app, which is great for managing your account and getting help with things. And then, there's also the VIP program for loyalty and so on. So there's a lot in that app as well that we need to talk more about, I think, as well
Yeah,
ourselves.
absolutely. And it's important to note as well that we spoke about the Be My Eyes stuff there as well, but that's not just for Sky TV. Sometimes we can think of Sky as just TV. You also have the broadband, and I'm sure a number of other products that I'm not even thinking about now. But
I suppose they're the core too, but we'll have
yeah.
mobile coming next year as well, so that'll be more excitement.
Oh, brilliant. Fantastic. Well, Dave, thank you so much for telling us all about that. Lots of really cool stuff. And I think you're sticking around as well for a bit, because we'll be talking about Seeing AI and Be My AI on Android in a bit. And you infamously spent 6 months on Android. Fair play. We'll have to talk about that as well in a bit. But Dave, thank you so much for telling us all about the stuff at Sky. Really appreciate it.
I really appreciate being on. Thanks so much.
Fantastic. And maybe if you do want to share some of your experiences with us, maybe you've used different products and you want to share your accessibility experience, we'd love to hear about it. You can use our brand new email, content@vi.ie. We love to hear your accessibility stories. It's always good to get different perspectives, because we can try all sorts of different technology here. But we can't try everything, and I think it's good to get your perspectives as well, because we've a great amount of visually impaired and blind people listen to the show, so we might as well pool that knowledge and see what we can make happen. Isn't that the way? So thank you to Dave for telling us all about the latest goings on at Sky. Always great to hear. But other big news that came just last week, in fact, was the massive news that both Seeing AI and Be My AI have launched on Android. It's always kind of been the case that if you're an Android user for quite a while, you were using stuff like Google Lookout or Envision, while your iOS friends could use things like Seeing AI and Be My AI. But now there is no need to feel left out anymore, because you have got both of these apps on the Android side. And to talk all about that and more, we have Joe Lanigan, Daniel Dunn, and Dave is still hanging around with us. Hello, folks.
Hi, David.
Brilliant. So,
hi, David.
Hey, Daniel. How are we? So, Joe, I'll start with yourself. Be My AI and Seeing AI on Android. What does this mean for accessibility on the Android side? Because I think iOS had always been the easy recommendation for accessibility.
Yes, David. Well, I think it's a bit of a game changer for people that are already on Android and might have been thinking to switch over to iOS. And even for those people now that are half thinking of leaving iOS, well, there's not too many of them, but there might be the odd one just to get maybe cheaper phones or certain features that are available on Android that are not available on iOS and things like that. Or they might be interested in getting the new Pixel phone, with a new Google Pixel phone with the temperature sensor and things like that. So with the new Pixel phones and the Samsung Galaxies, now you can get Be My AI and Be My AI and some of the new Seeing AI features. So I think the Seeing AI feature will be another big game changer as well. So these two apps coming on the any of the Android phones, I just think it's going to be a big reason for Android people to hang on to their phones and maybe upgrade to Android rather than learning a new screen reader like VoiceOver and going the other way, you know. So I just think it's a great thing all around.
Daniel,
I have to concur there
you've
with
been
you,
using
Joe,
Android, and you're a big fan of Android and have been a massive advocate for Android. What do you think this means? Like, does something like Seeing AI, or even Be My AI, does it make a big difference compared to something like Google Lookout?
Absolutely. I think so, David. Just to kind of row in on what Joe was saying, the choice now is fantastic for users on Android. Like you already had Envision AI and Google Lookout, and now you have Be My AI and Seeing AI coming in. I know it's only rolling out at the moment, so not everybody in Android has got Be My AI yet, but they are getting there with it. So, choice and competition is going to drive innovation, and it's great to see that happening on the Android platform. And for anyone, maybe as Joe said, that is making the move from iOS over to Android, that did like and use and take good usage out of seeing AI. It's the exact same on Android. The layout, the functionality is the exact same. So, well done to the Microsoft team on putting a cross-platform utility out there. Absolutely. That people switching from one platform to the other can just pick it up and go on.
And it's got all of the features as well from the 5.2 iOS release. So it has all of those cool features, like those more detailed image descriptions and the document analysis as well, which is brilliant. David, if I can bring you in here, because you switched to Android for 6 months, and you mentioned in an email to us this morning when we were chatting that you found that the lack of these apps on the Android side was a bit of a frustration point for you. In what ways did you find that you missed these compared to, say, something like Google Lookout or InVision?
Yeah, well, for me, I never personally found I liked InVision as an app. But for a long time, it was paid as well, whereas on iOS, we had Seeing AI for free, which helped. Yep. But I know InVision is free now as well to use, but I just never found the results personally as good. I know there's plenty of others who love it. So I preferred Seeing AI, and maybe it's what I'm used to as well. There's probably a little bit of that. And Lookout was good in some cases, but I found, if you went in to say what country you're in, Ireland is not listed there. You know what I mean? They have US and UK and so on, but not us. And that meant when you maybe tried to scan barcodes and things, maybe we didn't have quite the same coverage, sure. I think I found with Lookout. So I just, on the whole, found Seeing AI to be a better app, although Lookout definitely has its uses. So now Android is ahead because it has Lookout and Seeing AI.
Yeah, that's an interesting change of gear, isn't it?
And just not having those kind of big apps, and like Be My Eyes, and then brought out Be My AI, like it's been the talk of the community for 6 months now, and so it's fantastic that it's there. There's still other ones I want to see more. I want to see a soundscape type app brought over to Android and so on, because on the navigation side it was lacking as well.
Yeah.
But it's definitely, I think it's huge. It is there's various reasons why I switched back, but one of them is that feeling that there's more apps to help me on iOS than on Android, and if that's changing, that can only be good.
That's an interesting one. So like you've had like quite an amount of experience with both platforms. How do you think, now that they've got the apps, how would you say that they compare? Like, do you think like Android is going to be, I guess it's certainly a viable competitor, but do you think it's getting to a point where it's giving iOS a really valid run for its money?
It's such a hard question to answer, because everybody has their different priorities and things that affect them and things that bother them, but it's definitely moving in the right direction. There's still a couple of things that just frustrate me there's some things that frustrate me aren't on iOS, by the way, as well. It's not all like iOS has everything and is Android caught up. There's some things I prefer on Android, but when it comes, including some of the more gestures, for example, more one-finger gestures available for one-handed use and things like that, which I think is important. I like anyway, but also if you're carrying a cane or you're holding a guide dog or you're carrying your shopping for that matter, to have one, be able to use a device one-handed, and I find that easier on Android. But on iOS, you've got the built-in image descriptions, for example, that our TalkBack still doesn't have. So if you're just in a WhatsApp and you tap on a picture, iOS will at least give you, VoiceOver will at least give you a bit of a description, which I don't believe TalkBack or didn't when I was using it.
Yeah, it's just after being coming in this week, David.
Oh, there you go. So
that's 14.1 just dropped there over the last week or so, and has inbuilt image description now.
That's great. Because that was the thing. I think typing was the biggest frustration I had, typing on the on-screen keyboard.
In what way?
I just
did you try like custom
keyboards?
Laggy,
very, very laggy with TalkBack. Even on a Samsung S23, brand new phone.
Yeah.
I still found it took me 10 times longer to type a text message than it did on iOS. And if there was one major frustration, it was that. And they don't have the direct touch typing, which they have the standard one where you move your finger around and lift. But even that's laggier than it is on iOS. But then the iOS also has another one called direct touch typing, where you can just tap, 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 and it's not there at all. And I just found, probably more than anything else, that one. And then I think actions is the other thing I think we probably talked about before, but they both have the ability for actions in the rotor or whatever the equivalent is called on Android, but on iOS they're actually implemented all over the place, whereas on Android there a lot of places where you'd want them, they're not there, so you get more screen clutter and stuff. But they were probably the two big frustrations for me. But it's great that there's more options now. And I can think of a friend of mine who's currently using Android, and they're getting to a point where they're moving away from magnification and dark mode and things and needing a screen reader, and they're thinking, maybe I need to move to iOS. And I'm saying, hold on, just wait and see.
Give it time.
You might actually be able to stick with your Samsung,
Yeah, and that's a really interesting situation, because it's one of these things where before I think it would have been a case of, look, iOS is probably going to be the better option, but there's also the sense that you've so many variants over on the Android side, whether it's a Pixel, whether it's a Samsung, you can really tailor your experience to what you specifically need. Like if you want a phone with a headphone jack, you can get that, and there are advantages to that too. Did you find that was something that, now that Seeing AI and Be My AI have jumped across to the other side, do you think that there are going to be just more options available for visually impaired people and blind people to just easily access a phone that better suits their needs as an overall package?
It should be, yeah. I mean, like you say, there's a wider range of choices out there. You can get very good phones, the likes of, we all talk about Pixel and Samsung. They've got the likes of Xiaomi and a few of the other companies, Zenfone and all these. So there are really, really good phones that are often very competitively priced as well, which helps. And like I say, then you can have whatever screen size. With iPhone, you've kind of got two screen sizes with, they're fine. With Android, you've got 101 different screen sizes, so it's definitely it's definitely a good thing.
Yeah, and absolutely. And even with the better cameras and stuff, that's going to work really well with things like Be My AI and Seeing AI. I know when Kyron, our boss, switched to Android for a bit during the year as well, he was really impressed with the camera. And there's also been an actual Google magnifier app released this year. So it's been a massive year for Android in many respects. Even if you compare now with just 6 or 12 months ago, it's come on a massive way. So it's really cool to see. I'm still holding on to my iPhone here. I'm not going to be switching just yet, but it's really cool to see when you blend the options with reading mode and all of these different options that are there. It's hard to see many downsides. Now, if you handed me an Android and was like, David, you've got to use this for a while, I think I could manage now.
You could.
Yeah,
I still think VoiceOver is a better screen reader than TalkBack. I think it's more robust. I think it's a little bit snappier, and I think they're a bit quicker to add new features and that kind of thing. But that's not to say TalkBack is bad. I just think VoiceOver is still a little bit ahead. But that doesn't mean iOS is ahead of Android. I just think VoiceOver as a screen reader is ahead of TalkBack still. But if that gap continues to close, then we're all winners.
I'd agree there with David on the screen reader part. I suppose it's important for experienced screen readers to have that snappy feel about a screen reader. When you're flicking left and right and you want things to react quickly. Yeah. I find sometimes the TalkBack screen reader can be a little bit laggy, but that's the only place I see it falling behind at the moment. I suppose if someone has recently lost a vision and they're trying to think, what kind of smartphone should I go for? And at least if they have an Android already before they've lost their sight, you can say, look, stick with your Android and see how you get on. You don't have to go transitioning and doing a major new learning curve. And that's another advantage, I suppose, of this happening. So Android, we don't have to keep telling them, look, you need to make the switch to iOS to get all these fabulous apps. At least some of them are available now on Android, and it's the way to go.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And you have the added benefit, I guess, of having third-party screen readers too. Like you have commentary, and I think there's one or two others there as well, which is a whole other dimension to Android that we won't get into today. But it's one of these things that it's great to see these improvements, and hopefully we'll see more of it in 2024, I guess.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much to David, Daniel and Joe for telling us all about that. It really is an exciting time in many respects for Android, and it's probably we are now reaching a point where Android is becoming a really viable competitor for iOS on the accessibility front, which is brilliant to see. And we'd love to hear from you as well. If you are an Android user, maybe you've used both platforms, iOS and Android, and you have thoughts on how one worked better for you, or maybe you found Android is actually better than iOS in some ways. Maybe you have a specific use case that works better on Android for you. We'd absolutely love to hear from you on that. You can use our email address, content@vi.ie. Now, we mentioned earlier on that we might have Santa drop by at some stage, but I've got to be honest, he's not here yet. So we'll be doing our Talking Technology news in just a few minutes, and I'm hoping that maybe Santa will show up soon, because I really want to hear from Santa. I want to make sure that I'm on the nice list, you know. But who knows? We'll wait and see. But in the meantime, while we wait for Mr. Santa Claus, we will go to the next best thing, and that's Daniel Dunn with Talking Technology News.
This is Talking Technology News.
Thanks for that, David. With your latest Talking Technology News, I'm your news reading elf, Daniel Dunn. Microsoft's Seeing AI and image description tool Be My AI have both launched on Android. The new Seeing AI release contains all the new features from the 5.2 release on iOS, so users have exciting new options joining Google Lookout and Envision, which are already on the Android platform. With reading mode, third-party screen readers, and now these new tools moving across from iOS, Android continues to become a more viable option for those with access needs. This competition is great to see, and will hopefully result in everyone upping their game for 2024. With under 2 weeks to go until Santa comes down the chimney, there is a new accessible Advent calendar available online. The Tactile Times Advent Calendar is designed for young Braille users and has been created to ensure ease of access for those using a screen reader or screen magnifier. You can find a link to the calendar by visiting the technology news section of our website, vi.ie. And finally, for now, did you know that Santa is sending letters to kids in accessible formats such as large print, audio and even Braille? The man in the red suit has teamed up once again with Vision Ireland and An Post to make his responses to blind and visually impaired children more accessible. Santa has become so advanced on accessibility that he is able to respond in Braille, audio CD, audio email and large print. The initial card is produced at Santa's special workshop at An Post. The Vision Ireland Library then works with Santa to make sure that his responses are accessible. To get a response from Santa in an accessible format, send your letter, address and format choice by email to santa@vi.ie. That's santa@vi.ie before Friday the 15th of December. Santa looks forward to hearing from you soon. And that's it for now. But if you want to binge on all of our podcasts again over the festive period, be sure to check out your podcast app of choice or the VI Labs YouTube channel. For now, it's back to you, David.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you very much. Have you been have you written your letter to Santa yet, Daniel?
Not just yet, no.
Oh, you've got to get it in by Friday, Daniel. By Friday.
By Friday.
So
the clock is ticking.
the clock is ticking. Joe, have you got your letter into the big man?
Gone weeks ago, David.
Gone weeks. See, you're prepared, Joe. Good man. You're well prepared. Daniel, you've got to catch up. Fair play.
I do.
But yeah, really cool stuff there. And it's fantastic as well to see Vision Ireland sending the letters in accessible formats. It's really cool to get those letters in Braille and so on.
Absolutely.
But I want Santa to show up here. I don't know why he's not. I hope he's not ignoring me. I hope that doesn't mean I'm on the naughty list. We'll have to wait and see.
Did you send him your letter, David?
I did. I sent it ages ago and I got no reply, Daniel.
Oh.
How bad is that? I don't know what that means. But yeah.
I think it means you're on the naughty list, David.
Oh dear, I
think
don't
so.
know. That can't be a good sign. But yeah, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Maybe it's just stuck in the post. We'll have to wait and see and hope. But yeah, I don't want to spam Santa with another letter. But yeah, if you do want to get your letters into Santa, you got to do it by Friday. Santa@vi.ie. Send your letter to Santa, your address and your format of choice, and Santa will be sure to get back to you. Really, really cool. So onwards now to our quick picks, and we've got some Christmas quick picks this time, don't we?
It's time for VI Labs Quick Picks.
Yes, indeed. And Joe, we've got some really cool Christmas quick picks. That's a bit of a tongue twister. To get us through the festive period with some really cool entertainment. Also on the theme of really cool smart TVs.
Yeah, the theme of streaming devices, I suppose. So I have 2 streaming devices at home that I'd recommend for anybody that has a vision impairment or that is blind, that might need the use of a screen reader to access some of these streaming apps such as Disney Plus, Netflix, Apple TV Plus, etc. So the first one I'll mention is Chromecast with Google TV. And this is a great streaming device. It can be plugged into any TV that has a HDMI port, and it'll turn it into a smart TV. And you can use a dictate button to pull up your content, or you can, as I said, you can have TalkBack on, and it'll work very similar to an Android phone. So, and the remote you have, it's a nice little remote, fits nice and neat in the hand. It has a D button up on the top, a circular one,
Are they
and
tactile?
a select button in the middle. So, and a microphone button, and a Netflix shortcut, and I think there's a YouTube shortcut as well on it. So, there's a couple of nice features on the remote, and I find it really easy to use.
Are the buttons on the remote tactile, Joe? They're easy to feel?
Yeah, the buttons are very tactile on the remote, and especially the dictate button, or the Google Assistant button, we could call it. It's a better name for it because that's what it drags up. And that one sticks out a little bit more than the others, and I use that quite a lot. So I can say something like the OK Google Word and play whatever name of the program is on Netflix, or play Welcome to Wrexham on Disney Plus or something like that, So yeah. I could. It'll play it straight away, or else the play button will pop up and you just press select. So I find that really good.
And on the other side, you have the Apple TV, Joe. Just
before I move on to the Apple TV, the price range of the Google TV is in and around the €60 mark. Just so it is quite reasonable for people that want to go that direction. Yes, moving on to the Apple TV 4K. So for Apple fans, this is another great device. Again, it's a streaming set TV box, and I suppose it's better quality as regards the voice goes. It's a kind of a square in size, and it's you can sit behind or underneath your TV. So it plugs in again with a HDMI cable, and does all the same things, I suppose, that the Google TV does. So it connects to Disney Plus, Apple TV, Amazon Prime, all those streaming apps. Now TV as well from Sky if you want. You can also do FaceTime calls on it as well if you really wish in the latest update. And you can use your iPhone 15, David, as your camera and microphone.
I mean, how bad?
And it has a Siri as well on the remote. So there's a Siri button on the remote, and you can play most stuff directly from the remote, especially on YouTube. For some reason, the Netflix in Ireland it'll let you open Netflix, but it won't play the program automatically. So if I say play The Crown on Netflix, it'll say this feature is not available in your region.
That's weird.
But I can go in and I can get the thing to play by using the directional buttons, and the voiceover screen reader will read all content to me. So it's 100% accessible. I haven't found anything that I can't do on it yet. So I think with the fully enabled screen reader voiceover, I think it's a great device as well.
How would they compare, Joe, the Google TV with the Apple TV? How would you compare the two? Obviously, the Google option much cheaper.
Yeah, the Google option much cheaper, less than half the price. The Apple one starts at $169. It was the latest price I've seen for it, and there's a model with more memory for $189. How would they compare? Well, if you're starting off in the streaming world, I think the Google option is definitely worth trying out, and it does work very well. The screen reader is a little bit slower, excuse me, and I find the voiceover screen reader is probably a little bit more responsive and better on the Apple one, but price has a lot to do with things. At least you have FaceTime on the Apple one as well if you're really pushed and you wanted FaceTime calls on your big screen. If I had to pick one for myself, I'd go Apple, but I was recommending one for the general public. I think the Chromecast with Google TV does the job perfectly well, and you can also transfer stuff from your phone really easily with the cast button. So yeah, I think they're both very good devices. It is very hard to pick one over the other, David.
Very good, interesting, Joe. And a birdie tells me, Joe, that you got a new telly recently. Santi came early to you, Joe. Do you want to tell us what kind of TV did you go for, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, well, I recently purchased a Samsung S90C in the Black Friday, so I will do a review on it very soon. But it's an excellent TV, an OLED screen. So if you're into having the best picture possible, this is the one to go for. Also has quite good sound on it, and it has your virtual assistants built in, so you can use Bixby, which I didn't try yet, or you can use the Amazon A word, if you know what I mean. Yep. So and you can turn it up and down the volume with your voice if you want to, and you can access certain apps in there in the smart TV with the voice assistant as well. And the HDMI is 4 HDMI slots, so I have 2 streaming devices plugged into it, and my Sky as well. So that's my new TV, and I will write a review on it and let people know how I got on.
Brilliant. We spoke earlier on, Joe, about the Sky Stream. Is that something that you're looking at, or would you see yourself using the Sky Stream at some stage?
No, not at the moment, David, because I have Sky Q. But maybe down the line, if Sky Q decided to do this East, I think I would go that direction if I was forced, you know. But at the moment, I'm happy enough with Sky Q. I find it very good with the voice guidance. David mentioned that earlier on. And just go back to David's chat about the Sky Glass. I did see it in Liffey Valley. It is an excellent TV. It has a great picture as well. But what really impressed me about it was the sound. Has a sound bar built in. So that's the problem with a lot of TVs nowadays. You can buy a really thin, fantastic looking TV with a great picture, but the sound isn't amazing. It can be just average, and you end up paying extra money then for a sound bar. Yeah. But with the Sky Glass, if you are going down that road, it has an amazing sound on it. So that's one place I think Sky Glass wins.
Interesting stuff. Joe, thank you so much for telling us all about that. I'm really interested to see how you get on with the new telly, and do let us know. And it's great to have options. I think that's a key theme for today, really, is those options that are available on with both the Apple TV and the Google TV. Great to have those options. Joe, thank you so much for telling us all about that. Joe, there's this weird, I'll be honest with you, right? There's this button that started flashing in front of me here, right? And it's just saying North Pole on it. And I don't know whether I should press it or not. I don't want to break anything, but pressing a button labeled North Pole seems kind of tempting, Joe.
Well, David, if I had a button labeled North Pole and I thought it was a shortcut to someone, I'd press it.
You think? Will we press it? Let's see what happens.
And now, a message from Santa at the North Pole.
Ho, ho, ho! Hello, Talking Technology listeners. It's Santa here, coming to you live from the North Pole. I just wanted to remind everyone to be on their best behaviour, otherwise I won't be able to give them all their tech gifts. My elves have been very busy filling up the sleigh with all sorts of goodies, and I can't wait to be taking to the skies with my reindeer in just 2 short weeks. I've been reading all the lovely letters you sent, and my friends in Vision Ireland have been helping me with the letters in Braille. It's been so much fun. We've lots of new technology on the sleigh this year, including an awesome new tool called Be My Rudolph. It blends the magic of AI with Rudolph's bright red nose to assist us with navigation at high speed. We've done extensive testing to make sure that Be My Rudolph can identify obstacles. It's not able to see faces in Illinois for some reason, but we've got special red nose technology to get around that. I also have a Hable on board. Usually they act as Bluetooth Braille keyboards, but one of the clever elves installed custom firmware on it, so I can press a dot to send a message to each of my reindeer. There are 8 dots in total on each Hable, so I have a dot for Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner and Blitzen. Rudolph is fairly independent these days, so he doesn't need a dot. The final new addition this year is an air fryer. It's not the cool new talking one, but it does have some secret magical abilities. I'm not allowed to say what they are, though, as Mrs. Claus will give out to me. It's not long now, so I better be getting ready. Make sure you're good between now and 25th, and I look forward to seeing you all on Christmas night. Have a great Christmas, everyone. See you soon. Ho, ho, ho.
I love that. Good man, Santa. Thank you so much. We finally got Santa 2 years in a row. How about that? We're setting expectations high now. Every year we must have Santa on. Yeah, we got Santa. And I don't think I feel so good now. I don't think I need my response from Santa. I'm satisfied now that we got that. And it's cool to hear about some of the new tech on the sleigh. I'd love to have a go with Be My Rudolph, I must say. But yeah, really, really cool stuff. And thank you so much to Santa for joining us. And that brings to an end our Christmas special of Talking Technology 2023. We do have one episode left in the year that will be coming out on St. Stephen's Day, Tuesday, the 26th of December. It will be, we won't be live, it will be a pre-recorded show, but we'll be recapping all of the goings on from 2023. So if you're looking for something to listen to over the festive period, you can certainly check out the back catalogue, and on the 26th we'll have a brand new episode for you too. So listen, from us, this will probably be the last time we'll be talking to you before the Christmas period, but thank you so much for listening over the last year. It's really been brilliant. We've got a load of new things launched this year. We launched the new YouTube channel. There's over 200 people over there now too as well, which is brilliant. And you've shown brilliant continued support for the Tech on Tap newsletter, which we recently rebranded as well. So thank you so much for tuning in, sharing, reading all the content over the last year. We really, really appreciate it. And yeah, we're really looking forward to seeing what's on the horizon in 2024. But for now, from all of the team here on the digital content team, from the VI Labs team, everyone here at Vision Ireland, thank you so much for listening. And we will see you in 2024. That's weird to say, but we will see you really soon. Thank you so much for listening, and have a very good Christmas. Bye now.
Thanks for listening to the Talking Technology podcast with VI Labs. If you'd like to support our show, please visit vi.ie/donate. Talking Technology is proudly sponsored by IA Labs, the market leader in digital accessibility services. IA Labs, digital inclusion, your legal obligation.